Maul, the Dathomirian Zabrak male who would become the feared Darth Maul, was born on Dathomir to Kysina, a human night sister of Mother Talzin's coven, and a Zabrak father who by tradition was murdered after Maul's conception. By birth, Maul was a Night Brother, a clan of male Zabraks from Dathomir who served as warriors and slaves of the dominant Night Sisters. Like the rest of his kin, Maul was subjected shortly after birth to an initiation ritual during which he was immersed in a magic oily bath and covered head to toe in black and red tattoos. Later, stripped of his Black Knight brother's markings, Maul was left solely red-skinned. Agonizing Sith tattoos were applied personally by Darth Sidious in an attempt to cleanse Maul's mind, as well as demonstrating Maul's complete dedication to the dark side. Maul was a blood brother to Faral and Savage Opress, and Kysina wanted at least one of her sons to live free of Talzin's control. Less than a year after Maul's birth, his mother encountered Darth Sidious, the young Sith apprentice of Darth Plagueis, and implored him to save Maul from the life of a Night Brother. Though somewhat reluctant, Sidious was persuaded to take Maul, especially given the infant's strong connection to the Force. Maul spent the first few years of his life in the care of droids, TDD-9 in particular, in a secret location on Mustafar. A year after Maul was given over to the Sith, Sidious was granted permission from his own master to train him as an apprentice. Plagueis, however, instructed Sidious not to give away their most treasured secrets to the Dathomirian. Maul was to be trained as a Sith assassin, not a Sith Lord like Plagueis and Sidious. During his training, Maul did not know the human who served as his mentor. He only referred to him as Master Sidious. He had no idea that he was being taught by a Dark Lord of the Sith. Life was hard for young Maul. Any show of hesitation or a mistake was severely punished, any hint of mercy rewarded with cruelty. One day, after some agility exercises and a torturous session with a computer console on a number of questions, Maul had gone over to the ring where TDD-9 wielded a wooden staff and instructed him to dodge his blows in another exercise. Maul was hit in the first two strikes, but managed to evade the next two. Then D9 spun and threw the staff at Maul, hitting him in the face. Before D9 could retrieve the staff, an enraged Maul unconsciously force-pulled the weapon into his hands. Surprised, D9 reported this discovery to Sidious. When asked how he felt during the exercise, Maul responded that he was angry. Sidious grinned with satisfaction and ordered D9 to prepare his cruiser for liftoff. Maul was taken to the wasteland planet of Toste in the Atravis sector, where Sidious first taught him the ways of the Force. To test him, the Dark Lord telekinetically hurled many rocks at the boy, hurting him before he was goaded into throwing them back at the former with his anger. Impressed, Sidious explained the nature of the Force to Maul and advised to hide his talents from others who were not like us. Back on Mustafar, Sidious instructed 11-4D to have Maul chained upside down to a winch, which he would attempt to escape from as he was being lowered into a vat of acid. The Sith Master explained to his Zabrak pupil everything there was on the history between the Jedi Order, Guardians of the Galactic Republic, and the Sith, the latter of which involved mentions of Naga Shadow and the Great Hyperspace War, Freeden Nad and his haunting of Onderon, Exar Kun and Ulic Keldroma, Darth Revan and Malak, the theories on the title of Darth, Skir Khan, and the Brotherhood of Darkness, which was destroyed by their leader's own thought bomb on Rusan, and Darth Bane, who reformed the Sith with the rule of two, one master, one apprentice. At the last moment, Maul had freed himself and leaped to his mentor's side. He asked if the Sith still existed. Sidious only said that it was possible. Moreover, he had said that if it hadn't been for the Sith's efforts, Maul would have been found by the Jedi on Dathomir and turned into a mindless, obedient servant for the Republic. Maul's hatred for the Jedi had begun, in which he denounced them as weak. Sidious advised the boy not to underestimate the Jedi. Compassion may be their greatest weakness, but they were still strong. He instructed Maul to do the exercise again, this time with the chain lowering at a quicker pace. The next time they were on Toste, Sidious gave Maul a training lightsaber to feel its power before exchanging it for the real thing. With ease, Maul cut down several trees. At one time in Maul's childhood, he and Sidious were disguised as tourists while standing before the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Having cloaked himself and his pupil, Sidious pointed out the faces of individual Jedi as the day went on. Maul was filled with delight to be in the presence of his enemies and listened to his mentor whispering of the Jedi being oblivious to their eventual destruction. For years, Maul was trained to become a weapon of the Sith. He became an acrobatic warrior, one trained to be relentless against his enemies, and learned to use a dual-bladed lightsaber. His Sith training made Maul long for revenge against the Jedi Order, which had defeated the Sith a millennium earlier. With his master, Maul hoped to destroy the Jedi and restore the Sith to galactic power. During the Battle of Naboo, Maul fought in a lightsaber duel with Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maul killed Jinn, but the Sith Lord was grievously wounded by the Padawan and fell into the depths of a Naboo reactor shaft. Thought dead, Darth Maul survived his injuries by focusing on his hatred of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Jedi who cut him in half. His shattered body was dumped amid the refuse on the junk planet Lotho Minor, where the once deadly warrior fell into madness, staying alive on a diet of vermin. When found by his brother Savage Opress, Maul had no memory of who he was, rambled nonsensically, and had built hideous spider-like legs in place of his severed ones. Opress brought Maul back to his homeworld of Dathomir, where the Night Sister Mother Talzin used dark magics to restore the fallen Sith's mind and body. Maul re-emerged, took Opress as his apprentice, and became obsessed with Kenobi. He and his brother began terrorizing worlds and allied with the Death Watch, Black Sun, and the Pike Syndicate to form the Shadow Collective, a group which took over Mandalore. This led to Maul's battle with the Death Watch leader, Pre Vizsla, who he dispatched violently and without mercy to assume total control of the planet. Throughout this time, Maul dueled Obi-Wan Kenobi on numerous occasions, and in an act of pure hatred, killed Obi-Wan's former love, Duchess Satine Kryze. His revenge would prove double-edged, however, as the act created a dark side ripple sensed by his former master, Darth Sidious. Sidious came to Mandalore, where he declared the Zabrak brothers to be his rivals. The Sith Master killed Savage Opress and took Maul captive, but not before joyfully torturing his old apprentice with Force lightning.